Assist you sell way smarter.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Reno-Sparks Real Estate Market Update Minute, this time for October 2022. We're going to dive into the stats here in just a minute, but a couple of items of note before we get started. Number one, this is for the Reno-Sparks metro area only and includes single-family residential properties. No land, lots, multifamily, commercial, etc., just homes, townhomes, etc. Now, if you do live outside of the Reno-Sparks metro area, Carson, Minden, Gardnerville, Fernley, Fallon, etc., we can get you great stats and numbers and all the information you need on the market conditions. Go ahead and drop us a comment below. If you're on YouTube, comments on Facebook. If you want to shoot us an email, give us a call. We'd be happy to get you those stats. And of course, there's no cost or obligation for any of that. Now, as we always lead off with, we're going to talk about interest rates, which have the biggest effect on the overall market and home prices. And we're seeing this is really the issue facing not only Reno-Sparks, but really nationwide housing market, and that is high interest rates. We're seeing interest rates we haven't seen since 2016, so over 16 years ago since we've seen interest rates this high. We're touching right around the 7 mark. It fluctuates obviously daily, but right around 7% interest rate. So that's putting a definite damper on the overall housing market, which we'll get to here in just a moment. Now, when we look at these charts, you're going to see prior period and you're going to see same period prior year. Now, all of these stats I'm going to cover are through the end of September 2022. As I'm recording this, it's early October 2022, and of course, we don't have the numbers for October yet. So everything you see here is going to be September 2022. So prior period is actually the previous month, which in this case is August 2022, and from the prior year would be September 2021. So the number that gets most headlines, and I've recently seen headlines is, couple of weeks ago that said, well, inventory is still somewhat low and we're actually seeing home prices still up. So what's happening in this marketplace? Well, it's a bit misleading because technically home prices are still up, but not by much. So let's take a look at the numbers in the chart. We're at $535,000 a median home price, which is down 5.3% from last month. But take a look at what happened and where we're at from this time last year. We're up 0.5%. We're basically flat even from where we stood last year. So all of these gains that we saw in the last 12 months, completely gone. We've completely wiped them out and we are back and did a reset. So it's literally a 12-month reset to where we were. And I do actually expect these prices to soften even further, and I'll get to that here in just a moment. Let's talk about the number of closed sales. These are homes that actually sold in the month of September. Again, from last period or from August, we're up 1.8% at 461, and we're down 22.7%. You can see right here where we had 596 back in 2021. The concern here is just the volume is a little bit lower than we'd like to see. As you can see, normally we start to see the volumes up here in the 650, 700 range at the peak, which is usually in May, June, July, etc. If you go back here into the May, June area, we only had a peak of just over 500, 525, something like that. So significantly less, but not completely abnormal. We'd like to see these higher, but not a huge factor. Let's talk about closed by price. And no surprise here, really the 400 to 500 range had the most closings, followed by 5 to 6. And as you go down the price range, I want you to keep a note of how few sales we're seeing in the $1 to $1.5 million price range. In this case, just over 20 and under 20. We'll get back to that here in just a second. Let's talk about the active listings. Now, active inventory is the number of properties that are available for sale at the end of the month, like right now. So homes that you could go out and look at and potentially purchase. We're sitting at 1,332, which is down 2.9% from last month, but up 101% from last year. Now, to be fair, last year, if you've watched and followed along with the market or any of my videos, we were at historically low levels of active inventory back a year to 2 years ago. So we're really just rebounding normal levels. Look at the levels here. Between 1,000 and 1,400 would be considered pretty normal. We've just jumped back into more normal levels. But if you look at the active by price for September, you can see, and the reason I wanted to point this out, if you go closed by price over here, very few sales closed, but you're seeing active start to rise significantly in the upper end price ranges especially. Now, but even look at the active listings in 4 to really 750, and if I go back over to close, you're seeing a lot of sales in the 4 to 500, but the sales start falling off when you start getting these upper end price range. So as you start to see these charts diverge, meaning you see more and more active inventory and less sales, that's when prices start to soften. Let's talk about new listings. Now, you might say, what's the difference between active and new listings? Well, new listings are just new homes that came on the market. Some of these new listings may have already sold, so technically they're no longer active, but they still were listed during the month of September. So this just gives us a barometer of how many homes are coming on the market, regardless of status, sold, pending, whatever. So these are down as well, down 11.5% from August and down 23% from 2021. But again, pretty normal levels here. If you look at the charts, nothing abnormal here, really. Normally you get a slowdown this time of year. This is a chart that has me a bit concerned. This is the unsold properties, unsold inventory. Now, what this means is homes that were on the market and never wound up selling. They expired, they never sold and fell off the market. Maybe people pulled them off the market. Whatever the case is, they never sold. 174, which is up almost 150% from last year and up 7.4% from last month. Let's talk about inventory. Now, just a quick reminder. There's a buyer's market, seller's market, and really a neutral or stable market. A buyer's market is when there's way more houses than the number of buyers. So buyers have a ton to choose from. They have a bit of pricing power. They can go in there and negotiate lower deals. And the opposite is true in a seller's market. And that's where we've been the last number of years, really almost the last decade. It's been more of a seller's market because there's very few homes on the market and a lot of people moving to this area. People that want to buy in this area, low interest rates have made it very appealing to buy a house. So we've had more buyers than we've had sellers, so that we maintained a seller's market. $1.5 million plus, over 7 months inventory. You're well over 4 months in the 750 to $1 million and the $1 million to $1.5 million. So these areas here are starting to get a bit concerning because you're firmly in the buyer's market on the $1.5 million plus, and you're starting to enter that stable, but a few more months you might just start to see a buyer's market in those 750 plus. Now down here you still have really stable and potentially sellers markets in the 3 to 4 and the 4 to 5 range. So something we'll keep an eye on. So we'll wrap it up right there on the Reno-Sparks Real Estate Market Update Minute. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you would like to find out what your home is worth and want more of a specific valuation, click the Find Out Now button right here on our homepage at 4 renohomes.com. No cost or obligation. You'll get an instant valuation, a computer-generated valuation that's actually really accurate. However, we can dive even further into the market conditions, your neighborhood, etc., and give you a very detailed report. There's, again, no cost or obligation for that. We just love to get the best information available in your hands. Now, if you are thinking about selling, now's a great time to look at saving as much money as you can on real estate fees and commissions. That's what we're all about. We are fully licensed, expert local realtors, been here since 1987, sold thousands of homes and saved homeowners millions of dollars in commissions. That's commissions and money put right back in their pocket. So we'd love the opportunity to earn your business. Give us a call, 688-6060, locally here in the Reno-Sparks area. Visit our website, 4renohomes.com. We'll see you next time right here on the Reno-Sparks Real Estate Market Update Minute. Bye-bye.
Assist you sell way smarter.